Hey there, fools. Big T here, back with another video, and this video is going to be a follow-up to what's turning out to be one of my most popular videos. I had no idea that it would turn out to be that, but it just continues to get views. I've gotten a lot of subscribers off of it, and it just continues to be like my top viewed video month to month, at least over the last 4 or 5 months or so. And that is my Switch VR headset attachment video for your VR on Switch that alleviates the problems with the Labo. So let me just go over that real quick before I get into what the follow-up is about. So if you have the VR Labo and you put the kit together, it looks like this. And they're the lenses for the goggles themselves. And the thing about it is that you have to play holding it. So a lot of the games that currently use VR, you have to basically hold this to your face like this and have your Joy-Cons here, and you're holding it to your face the whole time. And that can get pretty tiresome after a while. So I was like, well, somebody third party has to be able to come up with an idea for a headset that straps to your head like most VR headsets. And so I looked around, and actually the first version of this, the OiVo, which is the one I'm going to talk about here, was not very good. I think RGT85 did a video about it. I watched this video some years ago, and it was terribly made. It was not very comfortable, didn't fit on your head. The lenses weren't great. But I think this is their second iteration of the OiVo, and I did a video on it after checking it out, because I could tell that they did some upgrades to it and it looks really cool. So let me grab my Switch here and take my Joy-Cons off. It makes it easier. And basically your Switch goes in here. I mean, you can slide it in if you want. You're probably looking at my Switch saying, oh, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, mine is custom. And you can slide it through. It's nice, soft, plush kind of feel to it, so it's not going to scratch your Switch, and that's what it looks like in there. Obviously, if you don't have a custom Switch, your logo will be sitting right there, real nice. Actually, this is upside down, so let me redo this. All right, let's flip it like so. All right, get it back in there, and there you go. So you have an opening at the top for your fan, so it can still breathe and all that good stuff. And then you have your Joy-Cons. Let me grab my Joy-Cons. I don't really use them much anymore, but for this video I need them. So let's put them on. You don't have to, obviously you don't put them on for this device, but I'll show you with the Labo, because you'll be holding them in your hand. So you put it on, strap it on there. Fits fairly comfortable. Not great, but this is actually fitted for my son because he just used it. But yeah, fits on your face fine. Take these off. And you go like this. This is how you play Labo. This is how I play Breath of the Wild in VR. So it's way more comfortable than having to hold your hands to your face to play a game, especially like that. That's a long game in VR. So this is a great way to do it. Take this off. So let me put the Labo back in, or I actually put this in my Labo instead. Put that there. All right, and so same idea. You put this through here, slide it in. Now your lenses are lined up. Do I have it upside? I have it upside down again. I keep putting it upside down. This way. All right, and there's little cushions in there. You can see them, so your Switch doesn't get scratched. There you go. So you're at the top. You can have your things breathe, have your system breathe and all that, because you definitely need that. You don't want it overheating, and that's not good. And I believe this is that way. There you go. Slide on this Joy-Con, and you are good to go, right? And this is how you're going to have to do it with Labo. You have to hold it like this. Now, obviously, if you have the VR Labo, there's other kits. You can make like a scope-style gun. There's like a bird thing. There's all kinds of stuff you can do that will work for your different games that they have included with the VR Labo, the software. So all that stuff works really well for that. So that's why it's good for that. And then, you know, short experiences, this is fine, but for something long like Breath of the Wild, too long, too much holding up. So I talked about, you know, this headset in my video, gave it a review. I'll give a link to that video in the description below. And I think this is really good, especially since Nintendo doesn't really have anything. This is a really good option, the OiVo, and it works great. So, like I said, this video just keeps getting views, and people keep asking me questions, and so that's why I wanted to do this follow-up video about a lot of the questions are about how does it work? How do you get VR on your Switch? Well, first of all, you're gonna need either VR. You're gonna need VR Labo, or you're gonna need a device like the OiVo because it has the lenses, right? So you need these lenses to do VR. The Switch isn't gonna just do it, you know, off of its basic screen. So you need that. And then you need games that are compatible with VR. So, like I mentioned, Breath of the Wild is compatible with VR. The entire game you can play in VR. It may be a little bit much for a lot of people, but somebody like me, I have no problem with 3DS. I've never had a problem with VR. As you can see, the PSVR is behind me that way. And I enjoy that a lot. I just did a video on that. So, you know, certain games like that, and you're in third person, so it's not like you're seeing through Link's eyes. If there was a first person mode in Breath of the Wild, that might be a lot better. But it does look good. It still looks pretty good for a 720p screen, especially, you know, because that's what matters a lot when it comes to VR, the quality of your screen. So, yeah, so you're gonna it's not the greatest, obviously, with Nintendo Switch, but at least you're not buying new hardware. You don't have to buy hardware like you have to do for other systems, your PC or your PlayStation. You got to buy really expensive hundreds of dollars hardware. So I've made videos talking about how it's kind of the perfect solution for VR, not based on the quality of the VR itself, but based on the form factor, that you don't have to buy anything extra other than like the lens headset. Like I said, you have to have the lenses to get VR working on your Switch. That's it. And you're talking about a $25 investment versus, you know, $200, $300, $400 on PS4 or your PC. I think those things are even more expensive. I think the Oculus is a little cheaper than that. But yeah, so that was my thing. And I knew there weren't a whole lot of experiences as far as VR goes, but it was enough to where the way to get VR on your Switch, like I said, was cheap enough to where I was like, all right, I'll invest $25 into playing with some VR stuff. And if you get the Labo, it's obviously also comes with games, but it's also cheap. It was $40 when I bought it. I think it started off more expensive, but they quickly dropped the price down. So yeah, like it's not, again, it's not the top of the line. It's very lower tier VR experiences, but it's still fun. I still have fun with VR Labo. I play my PSVR, and I can still go back to VR Labo. So I'm not a stickler either way with that. So yeah, now the experiences, that's the issue, or I don't want to say issue, but that's the thing on Switch as far as the VR goes. So people are asking me, how does it work? Well, like I said, you have to have games that are specifically tailored, or not tailored, but specifically given VR modes. And there's not a lot. The only game completely, I believe, that has VR is Breath of the Wild. There's a complete VR mode in that game. You can play that game entirely in VR if you want. Super Mario Odyssey, they have like this little kind of VR adventure you can do. And I think, you know, you can probably beat it in like 25 minutes or so, as far as what little VR content that game has. But it's still pretty cool. In some ways, it reminds me of VR. It reminds me of Astrobot on PSVR. You know, with the world you're in and how your camera's kind of locked. Like you can't go like all the way around in front of your character. That's what I mean. Like your character is in a set area, and then you're kind of looking left and right, you know, to see if there's platforms over here, platforms over there, that kind of thing. I would wish that they did what they did to Breath of the Wild, which is not the best game to do VR for. Where Odyssey, I think, is a little bit better. It's cool with the obstacles and kind of the lock camera segments and stuff like that. Makes it pretty cool. But again, you have to go into the game itself, and you'll find that mode. This is something they patched in to it later, so you got to make sure your game software is up to date there. And same thing with Breath of the Wild, you have to make sure your game software is up to date so you can go into the VR mode. And I think you have to actually start the game. I'm not sure, I can't remember if you can do it before you start it or not. But either way, it's very easy to find, very simple. And then you have what are the VR experiences? The VR Labo, obviously, it's made for that. So there's a bunch of little mini games in that game, and that on that software. But you can probably go through that stuff in a couple hours and just see everything you need to see once you've built all the different kits or whatever. And that's really what VR or Labo is about, is building the kits. And the games are kind of a bonus, if you will. And you get to experience stuff through the kits that you build, that's the cool part of it. But the experience of the games themselves, they're not very meaty, if you will. So again, VR Labo is built around that. It'll explain to you exactly when and how to do your Labo, because you start off building the kits, and then it shows you how to go into like the games, applications, or whatever. Very self-explanatory there. The one game that I think is, and I don't even have it myself, but from what I've heard all the time, which is Captain Toad. I have Captain Toad on Wii U, so I never got the Switch version. But that version has, again, a VR Labo or VR mode where you can, again, only certain levels and stuff, earning certain experiences that you can have in VR in that game. And that game, to me, screams, why didn't you put this game completely in VR? Because what I hear all the time is like, this game is so tailor-made for VR, and I can totally understand it. Again, it feels like it has that kind of Astrobot kind of feel to it as far as how it would work in VR. And I can totally see how it would be really appealing. And the game is just beautiful, graphically. It's just a really well-designed game. And so I wish that game all the way through you could play in VR, but again, it's only short instances in that game. But it's cool stuff like, I don't know if you guys played the game or not, but there's like little minecart stuff where you're in VR, which is very cool. It feels like you're on a kind of roller coaster thing from what I've seen, and stuff like that. So I just wish that game was completely in Labo or in VR. And the only other game I can think of, it might be one or two more, but the only other game I can think of right now off the top of my head is Smash. And again, Smash is, in a certain instance you can use VR, and it's not while you play the game. You kind of want to watch AI characters duke it out. So you're kind of in a what's the word I'm looking for? You're kind of in a spectator mode, watching the game, but it's still really cool. It looks really good in VR. It's still fun to watch, but I don't. How long will you watch that before you're kind of bored with it and like, all right, this is cool? Maybe you'll go through every stage. You want to see all the stages and how they look in VR. So that's a possibility, and they do look pretty cool. But I just wish you can't really. It's hard to play Smash in VR. I guess I would lock the camera down and just kind of give it a 3D kind of mode, kind of like what the 3DS would do. But yeah, those are just kind of small experiences. And there are games, again, games like Thumper. Thumper is also on Switch. It's a PSVR game as well. They patched it, and you can play it in VR mode. Why doesn't that happen for the Switch? Why isn't Thumper on the Switch in VR mode? Because it works really well in VR on PlayStation. So I just wish Nintendo would put more effort into that. That would be really cool if they did that. And obviously we got a game that is, to me, perfect for VR upcoming called what is it called? New Pokemon Snap. New Pokemon Snap is a perfect game for VR on Nintendo Switch, and I've heard nothing about it. And it's so random how they select these games to add VR to. It's random. It's Nintendo. What can I say? But yeah, so I hope this helps you guys who are confused about the Labo. How does it work? Or VR. How does it work on Switch? Again, it's specific games. Nintendo doesn't really clarify that. You won't see it on a box, I don't think, maybe. I haven't seen any boxes that say Nintendo Labo supported or Nintendo VR Labo support. That would be nice, but that would mean they actually putting some effort into getting the VR stuff out there for the masses to consume, but they really aren't. That's the sad part. So that's on Nintendo. But anyway, I hope this video helped you. Thank you guys for continuing to watch my OiVo headset video from a few months ago. It continues to go up in views. It's one of my most popular views. I think it's around 40,000 right now, which is very surprising. I only thought maybe a few hundred people would watch this video, but for whatever reason, people are really interested in VR Labo. And to me, that says there are a lot of people that really want VR on their Switch. And there's so much interest because people are obviously searching this video of mine. I don't have a ton of subscribers. It's gone way beyond my subscribers as far as the view count. So this is maybe something Nintendo should start to push and think about for the Switch to help it with that longevity. They want to make sure it lasts another 4 years or so. This is one of those things that could do that you don't have to pay a ton more money for. You know, like I said, if you want the headset, you know, Nintendo could put out their own for 20 bucks, or you can get the OiVo, like I said, for around 25. And you know, this would be something that would be cool. But anyway, thank you guys for watching and listening. Maybe this video will do just as well. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you folks next time. Peace out.
Right now. Okay. I've got to get going.
Okay, well that's weird.
Yo, you got this!